Math Skills presents the Multiplication Table Part 1, brought to you by the Quick Math Skills team.
So, for those of you who didn't remember what we learned last lesson, we learned that first, multiplication is adding a number multiple times, or as we in the biz call it, repeated addition. Second, there are many ways to solve a multiplication sentence. Remember the 4 strategies we taught you? And number 3, multiplication isn't really that hard.
But now, we're going to learn the most important of them all, the memorization of the multiplication table.
So for the 3 people who don't know what the multiplication table looks like, here it is. You may pause the video to study it more thoroughly, but you won't really be able to understand it unless we teach you the rules that are going to be shown in the upcoming slides.
So, we're going to start with the 1 multiplication table. When you multiply with 1, the multiplier is equal to the product. For example, 1 times 2 is 2. You can try it with any number. The multiplier will always be equal to the product.
However, for the 2 multiplication table, we'll be taking things a little differently. So when you multiply 2, the product is basically either the multiplicand or the multiplier added with itself. Like for example, 2 times 4 is equal to 4 plus 4, which gives you 8. Also, the product when you multiply by 2 is always even.
The 3 multiplication table. Do you remember the answers to your 2 multiplication table? Just add the multiplier 1 more time. Example, 3 times 3 is the same as 2 times 3 plus 3, which is 9.
Alright, so the only thing you need to remember for the 5 multiplication table is that the last digit of the product will always be 5 or 0. For example, 5 times 8, you get 40. The last digit is 0. Also, another thing you could remember is that if you multiply 5 with an odd number, then the last digit will be 5. And if you multiply 5 with an even number, then the last digit will be 0.
The 4 multiplication table. Do you remember the 5 multiplication table? Now, to get the answer to the 4 multiplication table, do the 5 first. Then subtract the multiplier from the product of the 5 multiplication table to get the answer to your 4 multiplication table. Example, 4 times 6 is equal to 5 times 6 minus 6, which is 24. And when you check it, it's right. 4 times 6 is truly 24.
Alright, so for the 10 multiplication table, which is the easiest in the multiplication table that you have to memorize, is basically add a 0 to your multiplier or your multiplicand depending on where the 10 is. So for example, if you get 10 times 3, then you just add a 0 to 3, which gives you 30.
So, the lesson in a nutshell. The multiplication table is one of the most important multiplication concepts. Today, we learned the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10 multiplication table. The multiplication table is not that hard. We just need to read and memorize it every day. Just dedicate 5 to 10 minutes to it, and you'll get it in 1 week, more or less. One does not simply master the multiplication table. You just need practice.
Alright, so to all our viewers, thanks for watching. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updates on when our next video will come out, hopefully this weekend.
Thanks.